Hey yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Niko Knows Best. We are joined live, but let me turn this damn music down. Jesus Christ, we got too much music playing everywhere. There we go. We are joined live by the House of Heathens, Teal Piper and Deimos. How you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining us.
Good. Thank you for having us.
Deimos, not Deimos. I said it wrong. I'm a loser. I apologize.
It's okay.
Man. So you guys obviously you move together in a team. How does that work out for you in the world where, you know, pro wrestling is such an individual person, you know, sport? When you guys are a group package, how does that work out for you guys?
Honestly, I feel like it's been working out really well. We're kind of like any other tag team, where we've been sticking loyal to our vision and our plan for what it is we want to do. I think that, he's a phenomenal wrestler and he's trained me, and I feel like I'm kind of the loud, obnoxious one, and he's a lot more serious, as you can tell. Look at him over there, just looking stern. He just looks like he's mean, doesn't he?
Very serious.
So, like, I feel like
he's
we
the
kind
god
of
of terror. After all, he must look serious.
I know, right? So, like, I feel like it's really worked well. It gives us more room to play. Like, I know I've heard some people thought it was like limiting at the beginning, but we found that it really gives us a lot more areas that we can work in. You know, there's many times where there's a male storyline or main events that they've found a reason to use me, or vice versa, and it gives us more versatility everywhere we go. So there's really not a lot we can't do. As we found, it really helped us out a lot, actually.
Yeah,
I agree. I think it's good to have you guys work as a team because A, you're both going to get paid at events for doing that, and then B, you get to travel together, and you're obviously fiancés anyways. So I mean, it works out for you in that capacity.
It does, and it's so funny because when we decided to pursue this as a team, we actually hadn't became romantic or anything yet. He was so, like, it's so funny how that worked out really well. I always say, my dad was one of those people who was lonely when he was on the road and missed home, and when he was home, he missed being, wrestling and everything, and he always had to pick between the two constantly. And I've always felt very blessed that I get to do both.
Yeah, we skipped right to it and went straight into it. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. Sorry for being rude.
It's okay. I was so ready to just start talking with you. I'm Teal Piper.
I'm Deimos.
I'm the late Rowdy Roddy Piper's daughter. We are the House of Heathens, and we're professional wrestlers, obviously.
Now, I'm not going to mention the place I saw you at because I know that relationship's gone, and that doesn't matter.
In Orlando, we saw you in Orlando.
I saw you in Orlando or Melbourne, one of those places, both of you for the first time. And the thing that really stuck out to me was obviously, someone sees you for the first time and they go, "Oh, that's Rowdy Roddy Piper's daughter." Obviously,
yeah.
I'm 43. He's in his 50s. Cool, Mike. I mean, we love Rowdy Roddy Piper, so
oh yeah,
we're going there just to see you, honestly. At that point, and then you cut a promo. And you basically were like something about your dad being dead. And then you said, "What, has it been too soon? Boo-hoo." And it was just like, man, she went straight into heel mode and then used her father. I feel like he would have been really proud of that in the moment, because that's just like, it was so great to you to be able to like really rock that, just going straight for the jugular kind of promo. It was great.
I think the one thing about me is I have yet to meet somebody with a darker sense of humor than I have. I have a very, very thick skin, and I'm very to the point, and I say what I want to say, and a lot of times people aren't ready for it. But I probably got that from my dad. We all take after our parents in some way. So yeah, I wasn't sure how the audience took that one, but I thought it was funny making them uncomfortable.
I too am never ready for some of those things she says.
Yeah, sometimes he's like,
I mean, there's definitely some white trash in the front row going like, "Screw you, your dad's a legend." Like throwing,
I was trying to get, I was working on my heat.
Instant heat.
Cool, Mike. I know it's 2-1-2. We're trying to work a rhythm here and keep it going. Go for it.
Yeah. I mean, I did have a question for Deimos as well. I mean, as you could tell, I wore this shirt for you with Kurt Angle, with Wrestling 2020, and you know, I saw that your mom knew Kurt Angle in high school, and he got to be a little bit of a mentor for you.
Yeah,
Told you to stick and go to college as well as wrestling. And I was just going to see a few things that you learned from him. I mean, you've had a career of what, 17, 18 years now, and
19.
19 years now. I mean, it's been a long time. You're still in great shape, everything else. Did you get anything from Kurt wrestling wise, like with his exhaust training and things that he did, or different?
I think that the best thing, I mean, amongst a lot of business advice, my work ethic came from him.
Yeah.
You know, like I just refused to be outworked. And the first half of my career, I believed in my heart of hearts that I was the hardest worker in the room. And if I saw someone show up before me, I would show up earlier the next day and I'd stay latest. You know, I just was one of those people.
That Steel Town mentality, just outwork everybody. Yeah. Bring your lunch bucket to work and just make sure you're the best one there. Don't get out.
Yeah, it would haunt me if I thought that people were working harder than me. So I just, I got that from him.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
we're big fans. We had seen him many times at Impact Wrestling here in Orlando, and I think, just the credit of like 19 years now and being in great shape, that takes a lot. I mean, that takes a lot. So congrats to that. And you've done, so many things with, not only WWE but OVW too. So I was just going to ask you the other thing about OVW with the wrestlers program that's on Netflix, and you've been to OVW. What was your take on that with wrestlers?
I like some ideas about it. I have some people on that show that I'm friends with. Mm-hmm. I think there's pros and cons to it. I've never been a strong believer in people just explaining the business to the everyday viewer. I do still believe in kayfabe, for at least to a certain level. I know that we can't insult the audience's intelligence, but we also shouldn't just, red carpet them into all of our secrets.
Right. You can't keep the curtain wide open.
Yeah. Invite them in, I feel like I just stay away from that kind of stuff.
Right.
But ironically, I'm supposed to be doing some work with Jack Vaughn coming up soon with that show and him. So we'll see where that goes.
Oh, good.
Nice. We actually might be heading up there too. We're friends with Layla Gray and Certified Luke Curtis.
Oh, yeah.
Another engaged couple, that work together. So that's always good.
Trying to get our foot in the door there. We're actually interviewing Big Rig Betty next week on the show. So
okay, cool.
I looked at you. We did our research. Obviously, 2006 came up to me. That was a year that stuck out to both you. Deimos, you're in the WWE at that point, right? Is that the kind of the time you were in the WWE? And then Teal, it said. Teal, he's like, yeah, whatever. Teal, it said.
It is, man. People will always throw like dates and years at me, and so I don't know how people remember that stuff.
I mean, I know it from looking up on like Wikipedia and stuff, but I mean, like, and then Teal, it says you're on your way to like LA and Hollywood at that point in time. You're looking to be an actress. You did a movie or two with your father. And then like, was that your goal at one point in time where you actually won? I saw that you were in like a CSI at one point in time. Like, was that?
Yeah, I did a lot of like low budget horror movies, stuff like that. But yeah, for a long time there, I was just doing acting, doing that whole thing. And I think I've always wanted to be an entertainer. At the end of the day, I always just gravitate towards entertaining. At one point, actually, in between the two, I was working on an album, and then wrestling hit, and wrestling started to go, move quickly. So I was like, I'm all in on this now. But I think that the best thing that happened to me with acting was it gave me a different perspective to approach wrestling with than a lot of people that come into wrestling. A lot of them come in with that MMA skill set and that athletic skill set. And I really did come from the other way. I was like, look, if you want me to tell a story, I'm here for you, and I'm going to learn. So I have just been grinding every day since I started to, learn as much about the sport of wrestling as I could, because everything else was kind of my comfort zone, which I think a lot of people kind of come in the opposite.
Yeah, for sure.
It's entertainment after all. And I know that you were in Women of Wrestling too with WOW. And then you got to work, I think, with Tessa Blanchard at one point too.
You know what's funny? I never actually worked with her.
No.
There was a short commercial or promo or something, maybe 20 seconds that I shot with her in the beginning, and then the season I was filming, she wasn't there, and then the next season I wasn't there, and she was there. So I've actually never worked with her. I've never trained with her.
Oh, so that's why they play that snippet, just because they caught you on the screen together and made it seem like that's what it was back in the day. I get it.
That's the internet
Marketing.
Right.
No, I haven't actually done anything with her.
He was on the X. He read too much bullshit on the X.
That's the internet.
Deimos, so you're in the WWE in 2006. That's the number it says. We're both don't know. How did you get in there so early? What got your foot in the door into getting there? Because you were born in 85, right? So you must have been 21, 22 years old at that point.
You know, I've had a very interesting relationship with the WWE. I was basically a career dark match guy. You know, I've never gotten the opportunity to be a TV signed talent. It was just dark match guy. You know, basically, you know, a glorified extra that got a chance to travel around and work with the best minds in the business. You know, so I was very lucky in that way, but I mean, that's about as far as it went. And honestly, what got me in the door was, you know, Kurt Angle told me where to go and where to be. And I just bumped into John Laurinaitis. They said, show up. I came, and they liked the way I look, and that was all that mattered. You know, at that point, I didn't really have that much wrestling ability underneath my belt. I was very green. I just looked the role, you know?
There's so many backstage politics involved, and when you're in your, you know, when you're 21 and there's so much ass kissing going on and so many like backstage conversations having. I worked at TNA from like 2003 to 2006 or something doing marketing, and I absorbed so much in the company of just seeing how things work, especially with like Dusty Rhodes and all them people. Like when you
that's backstage politics light.
Oh no,
right.
TNA was absolutely, it was totally cool environment back there. I imagine that WWE is nothing like that.
Yeah, I remember the first time I went to Impact, I was shocked at how chill they were.
Yeah, for sure. And that's probably why people like going there when the WWE train doesn't work out, because that you know that schedule is just very kind of smooth for someone who isn't quite ready to do 200 days a year or whatever the WWE demands. That's crazy. They would bring you in. I know that, but they would never give you you never had one shot where you got a W in the WWE?
Not on TV. You know, it just goes back to the backstage politics.
Yeah.
You know, I had to learn the long way that you can't, you know, speak your mind or be honest. At least not until and I'm very open. I'm very quick to speak my mind, and you know, I have a hard time being fake or biting my tongue. And I see a lot of things, or I did see a lot of things that were happening around me or to me that I just wasn't willing to put up with, and it backfired in my face because I'm not good at politics.
Politics are the worst, dude. And my job tells me I wear my heart on my shoulder, and I'm like, cool. And they're like, that's not a good thing. And I'm like, sounds like a good thing to me. I don't know. So Teal, you know, I'm sure for a long time, wrestling has always kind of been on the back of your mind. You go to Hollywood, you're like CSI. Oh my God, you do these, you know, you said you did horror films, so you might have been getting like stabbed or something. At what point in time were you like, oh, pro wrestling? I'm going to give pro wrestling. What was your aha moment for you to say, I'm going to be a pro wrestler?
Well, honestly, it's, I fell in love with it through mourning my dad. And I know that's a really weird way to say it, but basically, you know, I had tuned in here and there, maybe during the Divas era. And that wasn't really something that was that appealing to me at that time. And, you know, I think that the way wrestling had been, especially during my dad's era, he was very, very protective of his daughters, you know, so I think that it wasn't something he was pushing me towards either. He just wanted me to be happy like any dad would. And it wasn't until he passed, he had actually written or started writing a biography, and the editor reached out to me and said, hey, we need you to finish this book. So I kind of got forced into that really quickly. And it became very therapeutic though, but I went through very detailed, interviewed people he knew when he was like 15 years old, and really went through his entire life and saw how much he loved professional wrestling and like dug into his early career. And the more down that wormhole I went, the more I kind of wanted to not only connect with him, but I wanted to know more about it. I got more and more interested. I started tuning in, and then I started seeing the Becky Lynches and the Charlotte Flairs and girls that I was like, man, that's cool. You know, that's what I would want to see professional wrestling for women be. And that's something that I know my dad would have a lot of respect for. So then I started going down the wormhole more. And I don't think it was until I first started taking bumps and I realized how probably sick in the head and masochistic I actually am. And I was like, I like this too much. And after that, I've just tunnel vision. Like I just knew what I wanted to do, and there's nothing anybody could tell me to stop me. And at the end of the day, I want to get the one thing that my dad wasn't able to. I want to get that women's heavyweight championship. So I've just been lasered focused on that.
So your goal is the WWE Women's Heavyweight Champion. That's kind of like if you were going to say I have one ultimate goal, that would be that.
I have a couple ultimate goals, but for sure I want to get, I would love to work for the WWE, obviously, because there's somebody who I have a lot of history with my family with. And, there's somebody I would also, there's so many respectable companies out there, I don't want to limit it to just that, because obviously I've grown since I've started that goal. There's plenty of other companies that I think I would feel very proud to hold that title in. I want to make sure that I'm also protecting our interests, and, I don't want to just be a copy and paste like version of my dad. I have my own artistic vision. I have what we're doing. So I think at the end of the day, it'll be what fits best for our life and who sees our creative vision. But wherever we end up, that is my goal for sure.
I mean, it's 2023, so you got AEW, you got WWE, you got Impact, you got New Japan, you got the indie circuit. Where I read, it's funny, as I'm reading you guys' bios, and one of them it said, Deimos is one of the hottest free agents on the independent circuit right now. And it's like, that's pretty cool to say that. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're not writing that if you're a jabroni. They're not saying that about the dude that with the chin that's walking around. I can't remember his name. But.
Sometimes I feel bad because, especially, now I'm kind of at the point where I'm doing my own matches and stuff. And, I'm getting my legs under me. But, in the beginning, he really had to slow down and let me kind of catch up and learn and make mistakes, especially with the spotlight of my dad's name, like other people going to go and learn the hard way. And I had such a higher platform to live up to because people were watching my matches. And so it was one of those things where I kind of felt like I was holding him back for a long time because, he wanted to make sure that I was prepared for the big show or wherever we ended up next. And so, it's been a journey, but now we're kind of at the point now where I feel very comfortable where we're at, and I want to do the next level, and he's been very patient with me.
Cool, Mike C. Go.
One thing to bring up that's big, and you're kind of touching on it a little bit, but a little bit around it is Rowdy Ronda Rousey, right?
Yeah.
Is two things. Obviously we want to know what your dad thought about Ronda, what their working relationship was, because I know she had to get his kind of blessing. And then also I saw, and hopefully this is good too, that you were helping her getting back in to wrestling when she wanted to come back, where she took a break and then she came back. And then I heard that you got a chance to work with her a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, she's a sweetheart. So she was trained by Judo Jean LaBelle, who also trained my dad and many others, legend in the industry. And so that's sort of how they became in contact. They came from the same wrestling family, and she wanted in the UFC to go by Rowdy Ronda Rousey. So she just called him up, and obviously my dad very much looked to Jean as a father figure. So he when he said, I have this girl, she's killing it, she's she's special, and they kind of met, and he was very happy to see her doing what she was doing for women in UFC and to pay tribute to him and everything like that. And then, during COVID, the world shut down. And I had just recovered from an injury, and everyone was just hanging out in LA. And so we got together and started training a little bit at the only ring we could find. And that was really cool. It was mostly, it was a fun experience. She definitely tossed my ass around a bit. the time I was coming up and still learning some stuff, but I think it was a very fun experience for both of us. And Deimos was a blessing because he's very knowledgeable, so he trained. He's the guy that's training us and telling us the things that'll get you better. And she's a very sweet person. We I don't know if we'll ever have a match together. We don't know if we'll ever be in the same company at the same time, but I think there's some cool stuff we could do.
I think that'd be wonderful to see you guys in the ring at some point. And what a huge compliment to your dad. And like we said, obviously we're huge fans of Roddy, and I don't think anyone had better mic skills back in the day with him with the Piper pit. I mean, he was just incredible. So
yeah,
hopefully to see you guys in there, I think there'd be big money in that.
Well, yeah, we'd love to do that. We've actually been talking about a project that we're going to start shooting here soon, and sort of I'm reinventing the Piper's Pit into my own segment. I'm going to call it Piper's Purgatory, and it's going to be sort of a nod to the Piper's Pit. So that's something that we've been very excited to do, because out of everything in my dad's body of work, I feel like that's the thing that's most natural for me.
Yeah.
And are you going to interview people?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we got a list. We got a list of people we're calling about this.
In condescending fashion, I hope to
By
see.
interview, you mean smack around verbally.
No, I'll be super polite. Nobody will get hit with anything.
So once you get into wrestling and then they start talking, yeah, no one cares. Let's ask you another question. It's going to be great. I would tune into that for sure. I'm really excited to see, what the future holds for you. I feel like you both are really hot free agents. Your names are everywhere on the independent circuit. And, I was just watching the Mystery Treasures from the WWE, and you guys were both on that show with Rowdy Roddy Piper. So obviously WWE has you on their radar. They know exactly who you are. I mean, Deimos, you were there 20 years ago. You know what I mean? They know exactly who you are. They're like, this guy, he's back for more.
And you're still on good terms, right? You just didn't play the game, but you're still on good terms with him, right? There was
the only person I wasn't on good terms with isn't there anymore, so I'm good.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
Good.
So if AEW or WWE comes,
it wasn't
around,
Bill DeMott, right?
Well, no, I don't care for him very much, but no
one did apparently.
Yeah,
I know you're in what FCW.
Everyone's villain was John Laurinaitis, and that douche is gone, so we're good.
Right,
he is a douche.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
I love it. So I mean, if so, that AEW Tony Khan calls and he's like, I want Deimos this week, or is it like I'm only coming if Teal's coming too? Is that how it's working right now?
I actually had those conversations with people.
Yeah. There's been a
package deal.
There's been a few places that were talking to me or talking to him, and we're like, right now we're building our brand. We're very happy with what our vision in wrestling is, and we think a lot alike as far as our gimmick and everything. And I always think it's interesting because you see these other tag teams, these other stables, and I don't notice anybody trying to pry them apart as much as they do try with us. Not everywhere, but once in a while we'll run into it where someone will, be a jerk about it or whatever. It's like, hey man, we can always circle back around if you have if there's something going on, we'd love to be a part of it. But right now we want to do what we want to do, and I'm not going to let you take advantage of my dad's name just so you can get a cheap pop for, what I mean? Or, he's kind of at a point in his career where if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't need to, like he doesn't need the experience, so like, we're kind of just happy working together right now. And we've had those conversations and most of them have gone really well. I think everybody, I think most of the companies kind of are just looking to see what's a good fit, a
lot of companies like to try to bring me in to kind of use me to get their guy over, which I'm not into, right. or they'll bring her in to use her dad's name to get their show over, which is also we're not
or
into.
Their girls over.
Or their girls, I when I decided to get into wrestling again with her, I had this rule where I'm either going to get exposure, I'm going to get money, or I'm going to have fun. And if it's not one of those three things, I just don't give a shit.
Sometimes it's all
I don't need them and their 50 people in the audience. I need me. So like, I'm good.
Right.
Oh man, we love the independent circuit, and sometimes we go to some of these shows and we're just like, man, 100 people. Like what do you handed out 5 million flyers and 100 people showed up and you're charging $10. Like,
well, that's because most of the people on the card look worse than the audience. You know?
Yeah.
I love it though. I have
Valid
fun
point
when I run into those groups, man. I just think I'm going to interact with every one of these people. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's the most entertaining part of is seeing the people.
Yeah.
The level of delusion that I meet in these indie locker rooms is incredibly hysterical.
Oh, I can imagine.
You know, like in their minds, you know, when they walk out in front of those, you know, fans, they believe that's their Monday Night Raw. You know, and it's cute.
You can tell the ones that are going to go somewhere and the ones that don't know what they don't know, you know?
You know how many times I want to walk up to like 95% of these locker rooms and shake them and say, do you even watch the product? Because you can see just by watching this show all the things you're doing wrong. Or they only read the dirt sheets, you know? They don't actually watch the show.
Dirt sheets are scary, man.
Yeah.
You guys could be like dead tomorrow on a dirt sheet, you know what I mean? And it'll be reported and spread on 100 different things, and you're like, wait, no, I'm right here. You have to literally like prove you're alive to them, and they're like, nope, you're dead. You're like, no, I'm not. I'm alive. I'm right here. Fuckhead.
I've had that happen with some stuff before, and it always makes me laugh because they always latch onto the thing you don't expect them to latch onto. You know, like. They'll always have the title like Roddy Piper's daughter or some blah, and it'll be something you're like, that's what they took out of that? I guess. It wasn't what I was worried about, but all right. Apparently that matters.
I love it. We're almost at the 30-minute mark. Mike, we have more questions. We don't want to use I know time flies here. We don't want to use too much.
I know. Just one more thing, because I think you definitely have a unique package. I liked, you know, the House of Heathens and the Purgatory Pit, or the, you know, and trying something like that. And once you shop that around and you get some success, you're going to have other promotions that are going to want to get it. And one thing that I want to ask you as a couple is, there's plenty of places that you can go into the US, but internationally, you know, we just saw with AEW, and I know you've done some time with them and Ring of Honor and things. What would you, what's your plan as a couple to kind of bring your show on the road internationally as well as the US?
Well, I mean, we've already done some international shows. We've done a few in Canada. We wrestled in Athens, Greece. Oh, wow. We have some coming up again, and like Vancouver and stuff like that. So I mean, we do like international. I like international stuff, you know, anyway. But it's a different audience, it's different crowds.
Right. I know he's already, you know, worked all over the world so far, but I definitely have Japan on my bucket list.
Oh yeah.
Mexico and the UK. Right. You know, I want to hit all of the resume points. My dad did some time in Japan, so I think that one's kind of close to my heart. Same with the UK. So it's definitely something we're looking into. Yeah. You know, those things, especially on the independent circuit, are a little tricky to set up, but it's definitely something we're hoping to do this upcoming year.
Yeah.
I could definitely see you guys' style in Japan kind of fit in there. That would be really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love working in Japan. I was there for about a year.
You don't think, when you think overseas, you don't think about Canada. I mean, that's obviously international to a certain extent, and going around. So you guys, what is the next place you're traveling to? What do you have kind of like a region you go to, or
Canada?
Actually, Vancouver is our next booking. Yeah.
You're heading to Canada?
Yeah.
Before it gets too cold there?
It's good. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. I haven't been to Vancouver since I was a kid. That's where my grandma used to live. So I'm kind of excited to go back. But we're doing Canada. We did a lot of the upper East Coast and upper of Canada and the US this last summer. So now we're trying to get a little bit more of the West Coast, and we're looking into going revisit. I want to revisit Texas again, but then UK and Japan and Mexico are really high up on my radar right now. I just don't know which order we're going to be able to hit them, but we're going to do it.
In Europe. We did Europe, but we want to go back to Europe.
Yeah.
A light bulb just kind of went off on my head. I'm like, you guys are so lucky. You're going to Athens. You're beating the shit out of some jabronis, and then you get to like go visit the Parthenon and eat great Greek food. You know what I mean? For a couple.
Yeah, we actually got a chance to. The way they paid us was they paid for our whole honeymoon. So we did a week.
Oh,
We did a week in Athens for shows and work, and then they flew us to one of their islands in Crete and just gave us a week honeymoon at a full resort hotel and on the water, food, everything was taken care of. It was beautiful.
It was pretty great.
Yeah, it was way more expensive than any payday we would have asked for.
Oh, absolutely. That's a barter of the century right there. I love it.
Yeah.
That's a life
Mike would
experience
love
I'll never
to come
forget.
back.
Oh man, Teal, Deimos, thank you so much for joining us. We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Well, I'm sure we'll see you on the circuit around.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
If we see you in WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan, wherever it is, we'll make sure to say hi, and we'll have our Deimos or Teal Piper shirts on for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Tell everyone where they can find you out on social media. Sorry.
Yep. Instagram, Teal Piper. Twitter, @RealTeal.
Twitter is @RealDeimos, and Instagram is official_Deimos.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. You guys have a good day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great one. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh man, Teal Piper and Deimos, they are awesome. That's
a cool power couple there.
I think they're smart to do it as a package deal like that.
I agree. It's unique.
Look at them. They got their whole package paid for to fucking Greece, man. I mean,
God, could you imagine if you got that to go to Greece?
I was like, babe, guess what? We're going to Athens. It's paid for by, all I got to do is go like take a fucking clothesline from somebody.
Right.
All right. What do you want to do first? Let's do the giveaway, or do you want to do the news?
Gotta hear the news.
Let's do the news first, and then we're going to do the giveaway. Thank you, everyone, for taking part in the interview with Teal Piper and Deimos. Another stellar interview. Cool Mike C, you are so good at this, man. You know, you really are. You are a great interviewer. If no one else says it, I'm gonna say it.
Well,
you are
appreciate
a great
that,
interview.
Niko. I mean, when you have a great couple like that, very interactive. Luke and Layla, when we had both of them on individually, they're just
Nick Aldis, Luke and Layla.
There's so many talented people here that are great conversationalists, and they make it easy. They're very good.
I'd like to thank my unofficial non-sponsor, Prime Energy Drink. Prime, you haven't sponsored me yet, but please feel free to reach out to me anytime, Logan Paul. I drink your shit every day, and I would love to sponsor.
That didn't sound right.
He's not reaching out. Who are we kidding? All right, let's hit the news here. It's time for the news.
News you can use.
When WWE announced LA Knight was off their September 23rd house show with COVID this past Friday, they offered refunds to ticket holders. Wrestling Observer is reporting that's something they usually only do for top stars like Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. The question is, Cool Mike C, has LA Knight reached top level star status?
He has not reached it. He is still on the climb, and you just wonder what it's going to take to get there. Unfortunately, with the COVID, he has to have a negative COVID test so that he could be on Fastlane on Saturday. So we really want to see that. For him to be in the ring with Cena, and he was supposed to be in last week on SmackDown, but was not. And AJ came and filled in and has that faux injury. We want to see, we got to see LA Knight at a big pay-per-view. And to keep that forever, where he is in a main event alongside John Cena, pay-per-view, that's got to be on his bucket list. And I think the fans are just going to be loving it.
I absolutely agree with you. The big news of the day, obviously, Jade Cargill officially signs with WWE. ESPN first reported it. WWE shared it on Twitter, and everyone went fucking nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone took to Twitter. The AEW ites calling her, she sucks anyways. The WWE people acting like they landed gold.
She's money. She is going to be merch
Cody
money
Rhodes
big time.
and losing Jade Cargill are big hits. How big is this to the world of the WWE that they signed this beautiful, amazing wrestler?
She's money. She's an attraction. She's still very green when it comes to wrestling, and a lot of things they had where she had that winning streak and everything else. And but no, people want to see her. She's beautiful. She's strong. She looks like a superhero personified. She's going to be selling merch. I think they're going to get her into movies. I mean, she is big time. So they can really make this work.
I absolutely agree with you. How do I make it smaller? Wait here. Hold up. That's how I
We have a
want it.
beta test. Okay.
There we go. Okay, back to this. Sorry, I just want to try it out. Jade Cargill is a star. You're absolutely right. She's going to do big things. Look for her to potentially be in the Royal Rumble or even sooner. You know, she's not
Right.
going to be showing up and giving Tiffany Stratton a clothesline. I can tell you that much. It's
No,
going to be big news. It's going to be Becky Lynch. It's going to be Charlotte. It's going to be Bianca. It's going to be Rhea Ripley. It's going to be a big name, and she's going to make a big impact. And for those of you that are in WWE that don't watch AEW, you're in for a treat. This woman has everything you can imagine when it comes to it. She doesn't even have to wrestle. You could just walk to the ring and be like, wow, who's that? And then she like you said, she's green, but she still has the
She
potential.
commands attention. You're right. She's got that it factor. People want to see her. And she is green, but she'll get there.
She will definitely
she's
get
in
there.
great physical shape. She's going to have all the training. She's in Orlando, right at the Performance Center. She's working on things. I don't know if they're going to have her in. They're not going to have her on NXT, but could they have her in a couple matches, just like they had Becky in there or something? Maybe. I think she debuts on the main roster, though. I mean, apparently she's getting a good payday. You know, she's got a good contract and way above the NXT, developmental. So they're not going to waste too much time there. I think she'll be doing some training there, but main roster all the way.
I agree with you. Absolutely. Next news. WWE is very high on Jey Uso. Fightful saying that they're happy with him getting the reactions he's getting, and the wheels are already in motion on long-term plans for main event Jey Uso.
No doubt.
Where do you see main event Jey Uso 6 months from now, 1 year from now, 5 years from now? I mean, do you see this wheels in motion with long-term plans actually working out for Jey Uso to win gold in his future? What do you see for him?
I think without a doubt, as much as they're twins, the Usos had a great thing. Jay's got, once again, he's got that star quality. He's got that likability. They're kind of centering things around him on when it comes to Raw. The Judgment Day wants him. He had the fight with KO where he accidentally kicked him. Sammy standing by his side, and he's going to stand up for him. Cody brought him into Raw, so he's getting a little bit of rub there. Right. They've got everything surrounding him to make him that much better. And yes, he's going to be the talk of Raw. And he's going to have championship gold as a singles wrestler too. No doubt about it.
They the twos and we the ones. I love Jey Uso. I think Jey Uso is doing a better job than Jimmy Uso when their character development. I think Jey Uso is a star. I do not think Jey Uso is a long-term star. He can't cut a promo worth his life. You know what I mean? Like
how many times did he cut a promo before?
It's just like I trusted you, Oos.
You can't do this forever, right? You can only do so much.
It's too emotional. I mean, Jimmy is actually way more articulate on the mic, but he just doesn't have the. I don't know. There's something really likable about Jey Uso at the end of the day. But the real question is, like Cody hinted. He moved Jey Uso here, and they're not in the third inning anymore. Is Cody moving him so he can go to SmackDown and finish the fucking story? You know what I mean, bro?
You could be right. I mean, but I did like that. I did like that reference of the third.
I just mad dogged you while you were talking.
PCO, drown him out.
PCO has given Impact, according to journalist, his contract notice that will end on October 30th. We love PCO. He's damn near 50 years old. Does he have a spot on AEW and or WWE?
So he's giving his notice. He says peace out to Impact, right?
Nope, he's donezy. And so is Sami Callihan, by the way. We can get a 2-for-1 here.
His contract's running out, and they said they haven't agreed to terms, so he hasn't said he's leaving. But he said he's going to let it run out and shop around because he hasn't been able to shop around in a few years. So
it could be leverage, but
it's probably leverage, and he could go back to Impact. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with shopping around and beefing up seeing what the rest of the market value would be for him. But yeah, I think Sami Callihan for sure could go to AEW and be a star. No doubt about that. I don't think he's going back to WWE. We already saw him as Solomon Crow when he was doing things in NXT years ago, and he just couldn't fit in that structured program. But something a little bit loose and more free like AEW, he'll be a standout. He is the draw after all.
He's the mother effing draw, brother.
Yeah. Death
all right.
machine.
That's all I got for things. I have the last little gossip. Brooke Hogan did not attend her father's third wedding, 70 years old, married a 45-year-old woman. She wrote, "For my own journey to heal and happiness, I have chosen to create some distance between myself and my family."
Ugh.
AKA Hoaxster is a piece of shit, right? Is that how this works or what?
After all he's done for Brooke, after all the money he's
How
squandered
dare you,
to try to get her to have a recording career,
What a Rudy
a movie career with impact. She was a disaster. After all he's done to help support Brooke, and she doesn't have the common courtesy to show up at her dad's 13th wedding. I mean, it's ridiculous. Come on.
In honor of The Rock showing up this past week. No, you're not getting a Rock autograph. That's for me. Sorry, jabronis. We're going to do a Rock Funko
Yeah,
Pop.
The Rock.
The Rocky Maivia, his first debut in SummerSlam. It is a doozy one.
Classic.
I actually have it somewhere. Oh, I have it right here. Look at it.
That's pre-Nation of Domination.
Look at it. It's so cute. I love this one. It's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Rocky Maivia. And a Mr. Ass autograph. And a pack of WWE trading cards that could have a Roman Reigns autograph in it. You never know. All stuck to you in an extra box. Why? Because I love you guys so much. Because let's be honest, I'm not doing it for the money. That's for damn sure. Niko takes the L every week. All right, let's
love
get
of
that.
the game.
It's for the love. It's for you guys. I do it for you guys. And by the way, October, I've decided it's going to be the signature orange John Cena spinner belt. I'm going to order it next week. Cena spinner for Halloween, orange belt. It's going to be a doozy. In the meantime, let's see who's winning this extra box. Listen up, brother. Speaking of brother, why aren't you coming to my wedding, Brooke?
What an ungrateful brat.
Will you marry me, girl? No, not you, Brooke. You, the girl that looks like Brooke.
Sticky situation. She wanted me to do it mouth to mouth.
Beach Patrol. Who's it going to be? Who's the winner going to be? I love our show. Teal Piper, thank you so much for joining us. Deimos. You guys are awesome. Deimos, like you said, kayfabe lives. He stayed in character, brother. I love that.
Yeah.
But Teal Piper, she's going to be a star for sure. Deimos has been there, done that, but she's got some stuff going up. Adrian, you are so close, brother. Damn. Is it going to be Phil? Is it going to be Jemias? Is it Jemias Palmer? Jemias Palmer, congratulations. Congratulations, brother. You are the winner for the extra box. I know you wishing it was the belt. Sorry about that. I love you guys. All right, let's turn this shitty music off. Let's get rid of this. We're at 44 minutes, 15 minutes past our normal show. Teal Piper, Deimos, thank you so much for joining us. Cool Mike C, as always, a pleasure. Guess it's going to be you and me from now on, brother. No more Jedi J, and that's okay with me. So, Jedi J, if you want to join the family back, you can. If not, me and Cool Mike C can handle the reins.
The door is always open for Jedi J. We love
clearly quite well. Look at us though. Look how professional we look. Look at our colors.
True.
We're just amazing. Congratulations, Jemias. You are the winner. In the meantime, we will see you next week with Big Rig Betty and the star of Netflix, Maria. We'll see you guys next week.
Women of Wrestling. Wow. With the Mother Truckers. Big Rig Betty and Holly Swag. Holly J, her daughter.
It's what I said, brother. Don't you listen?
I'm just spitting out so people can tune in next week.
Listen up, bro.
Big show.
I really want you to come to my wedding, dude. I'm marrying a 43-year-old. What? You're 40 years old too? Listen up, brother.
He was a senior when you were a freshman.
I hate to go with 20 people on the live, but hey, we've been going 45 minutes, so we're out. Thank you so much, everyone. Love you guys.